Today's topic, how to get your ex-boyfriend back. Today I want to show you how you can easily first get over your ex-boyfriend to then get him back. And I know that sounds a little bit weird. You might want me to start with the first tip how you can get him back right now. And I will show you how to get him back by doing the opposite of what everyone else is telling you. Because if you follow the general advice that says, just call him, tell him that you miss him, and send him a drunk text, that's not a good idea. Instead, you have to find a way to improve yourself to such a point where you no longer need your ex-boyfriend. Because right now, you are probably at the stage, in case you want your ex-boyfriend back, where you feel lonely and really, really alone without him. Which is completely normal, because when you were in a relationship for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or maybe you were together with this guy for a decade, you are used to not being alone. You are used to being with someone. And at the same time, you are also used to get your love that you need, that you require to feel good about yourself from another person, from an external source, which is in this case your ex-boyfriend. And that's why we first have to work on your emotional state, on your self-improvement, and on your non-neediness, and then you will be able to easily get your ex-boyfriend back, because you will be the woman he can't resist, because you will be so amazing that he will think to himself, how can I live without her? Why did I ever let her go? How can I get her back? And that's the emotional state that you want him to be in. And that's why it's important that you don't show any neediness through social media. Don't like his photos, don't comment, and don't send him any DMs. The less neediness you show, and yes, that also includes the drunk text message or the text message in which you pretend to be drunk that I just shared with you earlier. So no, don't do that. Instead of stalking him on Facebook, instead of commenting on his pictures on Instagram, instead of liking his photos, instead of DMing him, focus on yourself. You are right now the most important person in your life, okay? In general, you are the most important person of your life. But right now, you are in a vulnerable state. You want your ex-boyfriend back. You might even think that you need him back in order to feel good in your life. And that's why it's so important that you focus on yourself right now. Because when you feel good about yourself and about your life, then you have the freedom to either get him back or to not get him back, however you want it. But now you have to work on yourself. Work on your fitness, go to the gym, do some sport, improve yourself, educate yourself, further your career, learn another language, focus on your spirituality, learn to meditate, use affirmations, whatever it might be. The goal is to be so happy with your life that in the end you don't even want him back, which requires that you do the opposite of what you've seen in the movie Bridget Jones. You don't want to sit in front of the TV crying with ice cream in your hand and thinking to yourself, hopefully my ex will go back to me. Because then you will turn into someone that you don't want. And the key to getting your ex back is to like yourself and your life so much, to completely fall in love with yourself. Because then you vibrate on a level of love. And then you no longer need him. And when you no longer need him, you can make the conscious decision, do I want him back or do I not want him back? And when you then meet him, or when you call him, or even when you text him, he will feel that you are not needy. He will feel that you can in fact live without him and that you enjoy your life without him. And that's when he will want you back the most. And especially if you also know exactly how to make him obsessed with you. Because if you combine loving yourself and loving your life with a few simple techniques that make him obsessed with you, then your ex will beg you to get back together. And if you want to find out how 7 of my amazing coaching clients allowed themselves through certain techniques to experience wonderful love stories by making the man they want, the man they desire, obsessed with them, you can click on the link in the description. And now I have a very important question that I want to ask you. Do you need your ex-boyfriend to feel loved? One of the books that changed my life the most is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant. And in this book, he basically shares his story, how he went from depressed and even suicidal because his company failed. He was so sick he couldn't get out of bed anymore, to living a healthy and happy and fulfilled life. by simply repeating over and over again, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And he did that in order to fall in love with himself. I don't share this with you because I want you to do the same, even though I think telling yourself that you love yourself can't hurt. But I want you to think about whether or not you need your ex-boyfriend to feel loved and to realize that you can give yourself the love that you need by being kind to yourself, by connecting with yourself, by treating yourself good. And yes, treating yourself good means to not do what Bridget Jones does and to not eat unhealthy ice cream, to treat yourself to good food instead, to treat yourself to a nice holiday, to a relaxing bubble bath. The more you fall in love with yourself, the less you need your ex. And then do the things you always wanted to do, but you couldn't do in your relationship. I know there's something that your ex didn't want to do with you, but you wanted to do it. Maybe you wanted to go to a certain restaurant and he didn't want to go. Maybe you wanted to go to a certain event. Maybe you wanted to travel somewhere and he didn't want to go with you. Do that now, because this makes you fall in love with your life. And now you're at a stage where you are in love with yourself and with your life. And please, oh please, get over the soulmate myth. There are many potential partners for you, and none of them, and this is important for you to understand, none of them will make you happy and fulfilled. Yes, being in a happy and fulfilling relationship can increase your happiness, but you first need to be happy with yourself in order to attract this relationship. And this is true if you want to attract a new relationship or if you want to attract a relationship with your ex-partner. Realize that there is an abundance of men out there. You can meet thousands and tens of thousands of men. I mean, think about it. There are billions of people in this world. And from these billions of people, hundreds of thousands would love to date you, and you would love to date hundreds of thousands. This idea in our modern Western world that there's this soulmate and Disney love story, it's really, really toxic in my opinion, because it leads to people, and both men and women fall into this trap, believing that there's just one person, and if they can't get this one person, then they will be forever alone and forever miserable, and that's not true. Once you realize that the soulmate myth is just a myth, and that you are in fact free to choose whoever you want to be with, this gives you the abundance mindset you need to then attract your ex in case you still want him. Speaking of in case you still want him, socialize as if your life depends on it. Go out, go to meetups, visit conferences, meet new people, and in the process, you might also meet a man who's way better for you than your ex-boyfriend. And in case you go out and you do all these things, you love yourself, you love your life, and you still want your ex-boyfriend back, then you might want to show your ex-boyfriend that you made progress and that you're happy without him. And yes, he's still looking, I guarantee you. He's still looking at your Instagram, he's still looking at your Facebook. If you, for example, upload progress photos from you hitting the gym, from you traveling, from you going to conferences, from you going to meetups, from you meeting other men, or meeting other people in general, I mean both men and women, if he sees that you are having a great time, that you are enjoying your life to the fullest without him, FOMO will be raging inside of him. And yes, I'm talking about the fear of missing out, because when he sees that you have an amazing life, he wants to be a part of this life. But when it comes to your new life that you've created for yourself, it's very important that you never talk bad about your ex. I mean, imagine the following situation. You talk bad about your ex in front of your new friends, and then you get back together with him, and then you introduce your ex to these friends, and they go, what? And one of them might even have a secret crush on you, and he wants to destroy the relationship with you and your ex. And he then tells your ex what you told about him before. That's not a good idea. Whenever you have the feeling you want to talk bad about your ex, I wouldn't do it. Instead, I would send him a "see what you're missing out on" text. Just casually ask him how he has been, if he's alright, if everything's going great. And he will ask you what you are up to. And then you can tell him about the things you did, or the things you're still doing. Just brag a little bit, it's okay. And if he asks you more, you can even send him proof and send him some pictures. But hey, by then, he has already seen them on Facebook and Instagram. And then when you meet him again, which at this stage should be very, very easy, invite him to a private place. And now you can just say, hey, why don't we catch up? Why don't we talk a little bit? Why don't we hang out? No big deal. But I would invite him to your place. Don't go in a public place, because you want to seduce him. Or at least I think you want it. Because otherwise, why would you ask yourself, how do I get my ex-boyfriend back? And then when he's at your place or you're at his place, does he try to touch you? Does he hold eye contact? Is he acting nervous? He wants you back. And he wants you back, and he wants to be seduced by you. Or let's better say he wants to seduce you. He can't wait to seduce you again and to make you his girlfriend again. If you know how to make him obsessed with you. And if you want to know how to make him obsessed with you, the link is in the description. And if you want me to help you to get your ex back and to show you step by step for your individual situation how you can get him back, then you can click on the second link in the description and find out more about Skype coaching with me. And I truly hope that you dressed up for him when he shows up or when you go to his place. A lot of my Skype coaching clients, when they are in the position where they want to get their ex-boyfriend back, are afraid. They are afraid to communicate directly that they want him back. And you don't even have to do that. That's the beauty. You just have to communicate with your style and your body language that you want him. And if you dress up for him, he will get the clue. That's all you need to do. And then when you're talking to him, talk about all the amazing memories you share. Talk about all these incredible adventures you went on. You can, for example, say, I just remember how, and then you tell a story about how you first met, how you first kissed, or the first time you were intimate with each other. Or you can also start with, I don't know why, but I just thought about, and then you can share some memories. And this will put him in the emotional state of, I miss this woman, I love this woman, I spent such an amazing time with her, we had such amazing memories, I want to be with her again. And then, when you have the feeling that he gets really emotional, which he will, then you tell him how much you miss having someone who holds you and takes care of you. And I know that sounds a little bit cheesy, but there's a reason why this works so well. And that's because this activates his biologically programmed desire to take care of you and to protect you, which is something that we men are biologically programmed to do. And now all you have to do is to get closer and to allow him to kiss you. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.